last thing I'm going to talk about, and I think it's very important. I don't know if y'all saw this, but I tweeted about it, and let me tell you, I meant this tweet. All right, this is a testament of this pussy-whipped America that I'm telling you, I mean, it's not just America, Western civilization. The Vatican came out with a mascot directed at trying to attract the youth. And take a look at this fucking mascot, for fuck's sake. Take a look at this shit! The Vatican has unveiled the official mascot of the Holy Year 2025, Luce, Italian for light. Archbishop Fischella says that the mascot was inspired by the church's desire to live even within the youth, or excuse me, live even with the pop culture of our beloved youth. So, folks, let me tell you something, man. I'm tired of this effeminate crap. I'm tired of this anime garbage. But, you know, this is why we got to replace people. I'm sorry. We can't continue on this way of a bunch of lazy, effeminate idiots that want to do nothing but play video games, cosplay, and watch anime until they're 40 and live with their fucking parents. We can't continue to do this. Now, that's why, folks, in my opinion, I am an advocate now. I am an advocate of replacing the American people. I am an advocate. And let me explain why. Now, back in 2014, 2015, Angela Merkel of Germany allowed all the wild Yehudis to come into Germany. And at the time, I was against that. How could she do this? How could she do this? I mean, well, she doesn't love her country. You know, everybody. I didn't understand what Angela Merkel was doing. I did not understand it. But now I do. Okay? Now, I showed this article on the last show, and I didn't go into this discussion because everybody calls me that I'm anti-American. I am not anti-American. I love America. I love the Constitution. I love our forefathers. The fucking people are a bunch of entitled pieces of fucking man-child, antisocial, narcissistic pieces of shit. Not everybody, all right? But a group is defined by its majority. I know that there are hardworking Americans out there. I know them. I talk to them. But a group is defined by its majority. And the reason why most of America are a bunch of narcissistic, entitled, man-children pieces of trash is because we have turned America into what Europe was back about 20 or 30 years ago, where now people don't even have to work. I just mentioned on this show that over 53% of Americans are collecting an entitlement. Over 53 fucking percent of Americans are collecting entitlement. That's why this country sucks. That's why this country has gone to hell. And much like what happened to Germany, because look, I mean, take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Take a look at our debt to GDP ratio. Take a look at this. All right? By 2050, it's going to be 200%. All right? Debt to GDP ratio. All right? Take a look at all the other countries. All going higher except who? Germany. Except Germany. Now, why is Germany going down? Because they're doing, or what they did back in 2014 and 15 is what we're doing now. And they did it out of necessity. Because most of the German people out there were a bunch of goddamn socialists who believe, oh yes, I do what I want. I only work 4 hours a day. I take 3-hour lunches. Ah. And you see, you can't unteach an entitled, narcissistic, socialist piece of trash. You can't change this shit. You can't change it. All right? So if you can't change these people's laziness, if you can't change the precedent of them being entitled, narcissistic pieces of shit, then what do? You have to replace them. And that's exactly what Germany did. And take a look at the point in which this high chart of debt to GDP ratio all of a sudden comes down. All of a sudden comes down. Why? Because Germany was forced to have austerity measures. They could no longer afford to pay for this entitled socialist bullshit. So you cut the entitlements, you cut the spending, and then you bring in the wild Yehudis to come in, and guess what? Believe it or not, the wild Yehudis are actually working. They actually went in there, started working. They opened fucking kebab shops all over the place. They're paying taxes. They're integrating themselves with the goddamn society. And that's why you're seeing Germany going down while every other goddamn Western civilization is going up. Even China is going up. The United States is going up. The world is going up. The G7 nations are going up. All right, the fucking jet. Look at Japan. Almost 400% of fucking debt to GDP ratio. Look at the UK. Look at France. Look at Italy. Take a look at Germany. Take a look at Germany. And you know what the consequence of this is? Germans already had a decent work ethic, at least some of them, not all of them. Remember, they were all a bunch of fucking socialists. They're all a bunch of fucking socialists. So you couldn't change these people.
I'd buy that
all right?
for $1.
You couldn't change these people. You had to replace them. And take a look at the GDP to debt ratio. It's the only nation amongst all Western nations, or G7 nations, I should say, that actually had their debt to GDP going down. And no, I'm not laughing because I don't believe it. I'm laughing because you people that think that you're entitled to all this fucking bullshit, you think it's going to last forever. It's not. All right, it's not going to last forever. As a matter of fact, this shit might happen sooner than you fucking people anticipate. So look, don't shoot the messenger. All right? Don't shoot the messenger. But I think that we need to replace the American people. Because we need to bring down over 53% of American people collecting an entitlement. During the year 2000, take a look at America during the year 2000. Take a look at that. Look at where we were in the year 2000. There was less than 10 fucking percent of people collecting an entitlement. And take a look at where we were. Look at that chart. How low we were when it came to debt to GDP ratio. And then what happened? We started getting more people on entitlements. We started spending we started just doing ridiculous shit. And take a look at us now. You see, we have to get people out of entitlements. We got to stop spending. And unfortunately, the whole reason why nobody on the left or the right are saying anything about being fiscally responsible is because it would be unpopular amongst this, I hate to say it, entitled, narcissistic, man-child American public. If you take away entitlements, they're going to cry and melt down like that black autistic kid did when he slammed his teacher for taking away his Nintendo. And you see, there's no rationale. You can't fix this shit. We can't fix this shit. The only way we can fix it is if we replace these people. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And that's why me, as a Republican, I think that after this 2024 cycle, we need to take over the Republican Party and not only instill morality and fiscal responsibility, but we need to target. We absolutely need to target those immigrants. Because as I stated, there is a schism in the Democrat Party between them pandering to the urban demographic and them pandering to the immigrants. And you see, at some point, both those demographics are going to clash. And you see, I want the Republicans to have the minds of the immigrants because the immigrants are going to be the only ones working. And when they get amnesty and they become citizens, they're going to be paying taxes. They're going to be paying taxes. And once they pay taxes, that's when us, who want to be fiscally responsible, conservative Republicans, can use that spirit in order for them to go against the entitled American people who refuse to work, who refuse to have any integrity, self-respect, and do something with their fucking lives. All right? And when we have that debate, we tell the immigrants, I mean, do you think it's fair that you are the ones that are contributing? You're the ones paying the taxes? And these second or third generation Americans are just sitting on their fat asses generation after generation collecting off of the fucking productive? Do you think that's fair? And they're all going to say, hell no. And then that's when we'll become fiscal conservatives. That's when this country can fix itself again. That's when we can turn into Germany and have that fucking chart instead of this fucking chart up here. So anyway, that concludes the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, all right? You can agree or disagree with me. That's what makes America so great. That we still have the freedom of speech to express the views, to express the ideas that we believe in. So you can agree to disagree with me, but I think that we need to do this. I think we need to do this.